You're watching SNN, the Suncoast News Leader. This is SNN Headline News.
Tonight, an SNN exclusive. A Suncoast medical marijuana company has some big plans. They're assuming Amendment 2 will pass.
Looking for food grown nearby? Well, now there's an app for that.
And the U.S. has dramatically increased its airstrikes over ISIS militants around Kobani, while control of the crucial border town is still uncertain tonight.
Good evening, I'm Amber Stidham.
And I'm Mike Stevens. You're watching the Suncoast News Network. And we start tonight with an SNN exclusive. A medical marijuana company on the Suncoast is prepping for legalization, with plans to convert an office and warehouse complex into a dispensary and lab. SNN's Grant Boxleitner has that.
We think that it's a good opportunity for having one of our first flagship care centers here in the county.
AltMed executives envision this space being transformed into a place that redefines the way people think about medical marijuana dispensaries.
We think it's really important to build our care centers so that when people walk in, they know they're in something very different than what they're typically used to seeing.
AltMed has a contract to buy this warehouse and office complex in East Sarasota County. Right now, the facility houses a marble and granite company. Executive Chairman Mike Smullen says the building could soon have a lab and much more.
Where we could have our corporate offices, we could have a flagship, dispensary or care center, as we call them. We can do some manufacturing for specialty products here. We might even be able to do an indoor grow here as well.
And AltMed leaders say this facility is ideal because it's only a few miles away from their other operations.
A lot of what our plans are subject to Amendment 2 passing, and we're confident on that. We feel that we're on the right side of the table.
So AltMed is taking steps to be ready if and when the time comes.
This is all about medical cannabis and providing the best therapy that we can give to people who need it.
Reporting in Sarasota County, Grant Boxleitner, SNN Suncoast News Network.
AltMed leaders say they've been working with Sarasota County staff on plans to provide medical cannabis. Voters go to the polls to weigh in on Amendment 2 next month.
Businesses aren't the only ones preparing for possible legalization. The same day voters head to the polls to vote on Amendment 2 in Florida, Sarasota County commissioners will vote on an ordinance they've created to regulate on the location of medical marijuana grows and dispensaries if the amendment passes. Sarasota County Commissioner Joe Barbetta says for the county, it's a matter of zoning issues.
Again, we're not taking a position on the amendment. We're going to wait to see what the voters do on November 4th. But it's more of a land use compatibility situation so that if it does pass, that there isn't this proliferation of businesses opening throughout the county in areas that might not be, compatible with the surrounding uses.
Barbetta says the dispensaries and grow facilities would have to be 500 feet from any school, daycare center, public beach or park or church. The second reading and vote on the ordinance will take place at the November 4th County Commission meeting and would go into effect immediately.
An online tool for finding locally sourced food is now moving to print. Transition Sarasota created the Eat Local Resource Guide and Directory to help users find Sarasota area farmers and the markets and restaurants that stock the food they produce. After launching in 2011, the site catalogs 250 local businesses and organizations. First ever print edition is going to include a 16-page insert in WSLR Community Radio's magazine called Soundwaves.
Food is at the foundation of our society, and it's so connected to so many other issues of health, issues of economy, issues of sustainability and security, that if we can address this one problem, we'll go a long way to addressing all of them.
WSLR supporters will receive a free copy, and the guide will also be available at Transition Sarasota events and a launch party October 18th at Fogartyville Community Media and Arts Center. To check out the guide online, you can log on to eatlocalsrq.org.
All right, good evening, everybody. On this Thursday night, meteorologist Justin Mosley in and on duty here in the Forecast Center, looking at fair skies across the Bay Area for this evening. Really no problems weather-wise, but the warming trend, it's going to keep up with readings near 90 degrees each and every afternoon. Let's get into it, show you what's going on for tonight. And our skies are beautiful. Not much going on. We saw a few high clouds over South Florida for today, but not much here locally. Got a lot of high clouds to the north as well, associated with a stationary front that's dividing a drier air mass landmass to the north. Here's our map for Friday, last day of the working school week. We can all make it out there. Warm and mainly dry. Our rain chance less than 20% across the viewing area, so most folks will be dry as we round out the work week for you. Overnight low temperatures generally in the upper 60s to the low 70s at the coast, 70 in Inglewood, 69 in Sarasota. Do have the potential for some late night dense fog in spots. Of course, we'll keep you updated on that as we move along. All right, that is a check for now. When I come right back, a look at the 7-day forecast. We'll break down what you can expect heading into your weekend in just a few minutes.
Well, call him a hot mess when police in Daytona Beach found a man covered in tar on the roof of a closed gas station before dawn. He apparently told authorities he was visiting family. They didn't believe him. 30-year-old Joshua Holloman reportedly tried to convince officers he was a repairman atop the Sunoco station at 3 a.m. because he heard the air conditioners making noise. Well, that didn't fly with the officers either. Finally, police say Holloman told them he had been sleeping on the roof and had smeared tar on himself so he wouldn't be seen. Police found a prying tool with him and arrested him for attempted burglary, possession of burglary tools, and criminal mischief.
He's a hot mess. It's something many of us may see every day and may take for granted, but architects say that Sarasota is one step closer to being one of the most important centers in the world for modern acupuncture and architecture as well. Sarasota Mod Weekend is a celebration of the city's rich architectural history from several aspects. It's a unique blend of other design schools and utilizes steel and large windows to integrate buildings with their environment. It's a style that began in a small town.
This is not a series of lectures just for architects. It's for the people who really care about their built environment, for them to see why things are the way they are and how they could be better. So it's going to be exciting for everybody.
Sarasota Mod Weekend runs through the 12th, and while the guided tours are sold out, tickets are still available for a number of panels and presentations. More information and tickets can be found online at sarasotamod.com. Tickets are available at the door.
Well, a new road change will affect thousands of daily routes for drivers between Lakewood Ranch and Fruitville Road. And tonight, SNN's Chrissy McClarty tells us what you need to know about the expansion of Lakewood Ranch Boulevard South.
15 years in the making. Sarasota County Commissioners unanimously approve a plan to reduce congestion between Lakewood Ranch and Fruitville Road.
I think it's been a long time coming. I think the board has always realized we needed a north-south connector, and it's an important road network to keep the road grid.
Schroeder Manatee Ranch Incorporated President Rex Jensen says he wishes it happened sooner.
Had this project been approved when we originally asked for it 15 years ago, the road would be built today.
But Jensen says he's happy commissioners see the importance of the project.
East of I-75, there are no north-south connectors from Fruitville to University Parkway. So this one will be the first, and then Lorraine Road, which is a little further east, will be the second, and that'll certainly ease the traffic concerns.
Schroeder Manatee Ranch Incorporated says they hope to expand this street to a 120-foot right-of-way, including sidewalks and medians. However, if that happened, Church of Hope right behind me would lose up to 200 parking spaces.
Right now that we have the generic pathway to look at, we'll go ahead and try to refine that also using cost as a consideration. You move the road 50 feet one way or the other, and that could be a $2 million decision.
To ease concerns, Jensen plans to meet with the 24 organizations along Lakewood Ranch Boulevard South. In addition to the 2 expansions discussed thus far, there is a third improvement in the works.
Roughly where the water tower is, if you go down I-75 and see the blue water tower, that's roughly where the bridge will be. The significance of it is it will take a lot of traffic off both Fruitville Road and University Parkway once it's opened.
Jensen hopes to break ground for these 3 improvements within the next 18 months. Reporting on the Suncoast, Chrissy McClarty, SNN, the Suncoast News Network.
Thanks, Christine. Jensen says he's hoping to get 4-lane approval for Lakewood Ranch Boulevard South. He says it will only be a matter of time before people will want a 2-lane road expanded, and I'm definitely looking forward to that expansion. So much traffic out there.
Improvements are welcome.
Yes. And coming up on the Suncoast News Network, United States-led coalition forces continue to bomb ISIS positions near Kobani. And here on U.S. soil, a Chicago teenager is in court accused of trying to join the terror group.
And it's been a decent enough day on the Suncoast. Look at some pretty pictures there from my Skycam. SNN meteorologist Justin Mosley is coming back in just a moment with your full forecast on SNN.
You're watching SNN Headline News with Mike Stevens. Amber Stidham, Chief Meteorologist Justin Mosley, and Home Team Sports with Adam Shadow. In partnership with the Herald Tribune Media Group, this is SNN, the Suncoast News Leader.
The battle over a key town in Syria is getting fierce. What's going to be the outcome? Well, that question comes after President Obama met with military advisors yesterday. Steve Handelsman has the latest tonight on the fight against ISIS.
Ordered held without bond in Chicago today was 19-year-old Mohammed Hamza Khan, arrested allegedly on his way to join ISIS. Khan's lawyer and family say he posed no threat to America, but can't get a fair trial.
All you have to do is feel the hysteria that's in the air today.
In Canada, authorities say they're on guard against 80 suspected terrorists who might have returned from Syria. That alert heightened since Canada on Tuesday agreed to join the coalition and conduct airstrikes, a move backed by 2/3 of the public in a new poll.
A lot of Canadians actually want to see something done about ISIL and feel that Canada should be playing some role.
What about Turkey's role? A few hundred yards from Kobani, Syria, where U.S. airstrikes have not stopped a push by ISIS, and Kurdish fighters are losing Kobani. Just over a rise sit Turkish tanks and Turkish troops. But the government of Turkey, a U.S. ally and a member of NATO, so far refuses to fight ISIS.
Turkey is key. It's a mess without them. It's still going to be a mess, but we really need Turkey.
Secretary of State Kerry in Boston today is trying to get the Turks into the fighting coalition, but he says the issue is bigger than Kobani.
It is one town and there will be others. We are only a few weeks into building the coalition. People are still receiving assignments.
But so far, Turkey is saying no to the toughest assignment, putting boots on the ground against ISIS.
Well, John Kerry says the main fight now is still in Iraq, where the Iraqi army and the Kurds are battling ISIS on the ground.
Senator Kay Hagan is in some hot water. The junior senator from North Carolina admits she skipped a classified hearing on ISIS to raise money for her campaign. The ISIS hearing happened in February. High-level intelligence officials filled in senators on top secret details about the terror group, but Hagan didn't get a chance to hear about ISIS. Instead, the Democratic senator was in New York for a campaign fundraiser. Her Republican challenger, Tom Tillis, is on the attack, saying there's nothing more important than being briefed on national security. Tillis is narrowly trailing her in the polls, and this isn't the only hearing Hagan has missed. Her aides say she missed more than 55% of public hearings over the last 2 years because of scheduling conflicts.
All right, it is Friday Eve. Justin joining us. Is it going to be a fabulously Friday? How do you put that?
Finally a Friday,
Yeah,
fabulous Friday.
Is
We
that-
like both.
or not?
Yeah, I think so. We're going to see a lot of sunshine, a lot of heat, very little rain across the area, and lots of humidity as well. Will be breezy for tomorrow, so won't feel too bad out there. When I come right back, we've got the weekend in view and another cold front of the charts to discuss. Break it all down for you next on the Suncoast News Network.
SNN Weather First with Chief Meteorologist Justin Mosley.
All right, here we are Thursday night in our weather forecast, looking spectacular along the Sun Coast, although it is quite warm with readings pushing the 90-degree mark each and every afternoon, but fairly pleasant through the evening hours, and that's certainly what we're dealing with out there for this evening. Let's go ahead and show you what's going on. There's a look at our satellite review, the view from space showing mostly clear conditions. We saw a few clouds over the Florida Keys and across South Florida, but not much going on here locally. Going to keep the gorgeous weather trend going really into the upcoming weekend with these readings above normal, as mentioned, near 90 degrees. To our north, tracking a few high clouds across the deep southeast United States. And for Friday, strong high pressures in control. We'll see an easterly flow and our rain chance is pretty low, so mainly dry across a good portion of the viewing area. Most of the rainfall well north and west. We can't rule out a stray shower, but most areas will be dry for Friday. Overnight low temperatures dropping into the upper 60s at the coast and lower 70s. 70 down towards Boca Grande, Rotunda. 67 at Port Charlotte, Punta Gorda at 68 degrees for tonight and 69 at Sarasota. The only caveat will be some patchy late night fog. You have to contend with that as we head towards daybreak, so you want to use your low beams to get through that. Afternoon high temperatures on Friday. Look at the numbers. 90 or above in most spots. 90 Sarasota, as well as Bradenton, 91 in Northport. We'll be at 90 on the island of Venice down towards Inglewood and 89 for a high temperature around Rotunda. The hurricane season continues through the end of November. We have one area of disturbed weather that we're keeping our eyes on here north of Puerto Rico and Hispaniola. Here is Puerto Rico, and you can see the Windward and Leeward Islands. Large area of convection, very small chance at developing over the next few days or so, but potential development late Friday through Sunday. Very warm sea surface temperatures and light wind shear right now. As it heads up the road a little bit, stronger winds should carry the system out to sea, so something we'll watch from a distance. We'll certainly keep you updated on. Easterly winds for tomorrow. Seas are running 3 feet offshore, 2 to 3 feet with a light chop. Gulf temperature at 78 degrees. All right, here we go with our 7-day forecast. 90 for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, humid conditions. As we head towards Monday, a slight chance for rain, 30% coverage. Then a cold front nears the area on Tuesday, possibly some stronger thunderstorms in here. Then we'll slowly cool things off with high temperatures in the middle 80s. Now, for weather anytime you need it, like my Facebook page and follow me on Twitter at Justin Mosley. Always updating things, everything that you need to know weather-wise right there.
Well, college athletes who play football, soccer, other contact sports are more likely than other athletes to carry MRSA, even if they don't show signs of the infection. Researchers swabbed the nose and throats of almost 400 college athletes to detect colonies of MRSA, an easily spread bacteria that's resistant to many antibiotics. They found 8 to 31% of contact athletes carried the bug, compared to 0 to 23% of non-contact athletes. Experts say the athletes can reduce the spread of MRSA by covering open wounds, not sharing razors or soap, washing towels and clothes every day. About 5 to 10% of the general public carries MRSA.
All right, well, we have sports coming up with Adam in just a moment here on SNN.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Home Team Sports with Adam Shadoff.
Pretty fitting that in 1914, the inaugural year of football at Manatee High School, the then Maroons went 4-0. On Friday night, the now Hurricanes are celebrating 100 years of football, and Palmetto at Manatee is our USF Sarasota Manatee game of the week. The Canes will host dozens of former players and celebrate their 5 state titles and numerous nationally ranked seasons. And this year is no different. Manatee is once again nationally ranked in the top 100, while off to a 5-1 start this season. And even though the Canes are expected to breeze through the rest of the regular season, there are a few games that need a little more attention, like Palmetto. The Tigers are 1-3 this season, but they've lost very close games to very good teams. And Manatee is taking this rivalry game seriously.
You know, they're being right over the bridge. It's a rivalry. It's been pretty competitive the last several times we've played, and we're expecting that to be the case Friday night.
I expect Palmetto to come out just trying to throw everything at us all crazy and have us going crazy, but we just got to stay focused and just play our game and don't let the sideways talk get us in trouble, and just play Manatee football.
It's a different kind of a Hurricane team this season. Over the past decade, there's usually been a dominant quarterback leading a high-powered offense, matching an equally impressive defense. But this season, the Canes, they spread the ball around a lot more. There's no single true defined superstar.
Well, we want to try to get the ball into our best players' hands, and and utilize the talents that they have. And our philosophy is, however we can move the ball, we're going to do that. We've got the ability to spread it out with Cavius and Kelvin out at the perimeter, and certainly Johnny and Octavius running the ball has helped us out a lot too.
Since 2001, the Bucs are 9-17 at home. They're 0-2 this season. Tampa Bay captain Gerald McCoy says the Bucs need to have a little more pride at home. The tackle said, "You can't let someone into your house to take the remote control away from you and force you to watch the Lifetime channel when you want to watch Sports Center." I like the analogy, but if you've watched the last 2 Bucs games closely, you've probably noticed the new starting QB. He's surprisingly mobile. The gangly 6'6" passer Mike Glennon jokingly compared himself to Michael Vick this week, saying they both wore number 7 in high school in Virginia. Both had brothers that went to Virginia Tech. Well, all jokes aside, Glennon has scrambled nicely when needed, and he's thrown some terrific passes on the run. Shades of Johnny football, says QB coach Marcus Arroyo.
Yeah, I like him to Manziel a little bit, He actually said that to me, which was funny. He did a good job. Mike does it, to some surprise maybe, does a good job on the move. He really does. He moves well. I think he does a good job keeping his eyes downfield. He's got good arm angles. He does things outside the pocket that you don't see because he's not out there very often on tape. That's not his deal.
The Lightning started last season 12-4-0 before Steven Stamkos got hurt. Tampa Bay missed the captain for 45 games and still made the playoffs. Well, Stammer is back fully healthy. Part of the reason why a lot of experts have the Bolts as a Stanley Cup pick. The road begins tonight. Regular season opener at home. Bolts host the Panthers. Puck drops at 7:30. I'll get you highlights in the 10 o'clock half hour. Also, want to remind you, I will be at Riverview at Southeast tonight. We'll have those highlights in the 10 o'clock half hour as well.
A lot going on tonight.
Busy night.
Yeah, hockey's
Adam.
back. Love it. Thanks, Adam. Well, coming up on SNN, Suncoast officials already making preparations if the medical marijuana amendment passes. We show you what they're doing just ahead.
With the new mall opening up and traffic problems on the rise, unexpected help is coming from the state tonight to change our traffic troubles.
How low will they go? Ahead on SNN, gas prices are dropping, but how long will this continue?
All these and more as SNN continues. Please stay with us.